Hello my beautiful crafty friends, I am Katia with Lunar Sun Creations, and this is part 2 of the Desert Oasis album tutorial. If you've missed either the walkthrough or part 1, it will be linked in a playlist down in the description box. So without further ado, let's jump into it. We're doing pages 4, 5, and 6 today. Okay, so let me show you what page 4 is going to look like. Tundra is going to help. Hey, are you gonna help us? You don't usually see Tundra, you usually see Zuri, but Tundra's decided to make one of his rare appearances. Alright, so page 4, you've got 2 pieces that go out to either side. And then this part, when it opens, is a little simple pop-up, like that. Okay? You can have the right over the left or left over the right, either way, whichever way floats your boat. Okay, so let me get my pieces ready for this page. So piece A is 5.5 inches by 8 inches. We've got 2 B pieces, and they measure 4.5 inches by 5.5. Okay, our C piece is 2 by 4, and our D piece is 4 by 8. Okay, so get those cut and then we'll grab our scoreboard. Your first piece we're going to score on the 8-inch side, and it's just going to be scored at half. Okay, so that's all there is to A. Both of the B pieces will be scored at half on the 5.5 inch side. Okay, the C piece we're going to score at, we're going to score it along the 4-inch side, so we're scoring at half, 2 inches, and 3.5. Okay, and we're going to do some more work on that one in a little bit, but for now, that's what it's going to look like. And then your D piece, we're just going to score at 4 on the 8-inch side, so just right down the middle. Okay, perfect. So that's all the scoring we need to do. Let's put the scoreboard out of the way. So the D, we're not going to do anything right now with it except fold and crease it. Let's just put our score tape on the A and B's, and then we will work on the C for a minute. Just score tape on the 1/2 inch sections of the A and the B's as per usual. And miter the corners like we normally do. Fold and crease them like we normally do. Okay, so there's the B's and the A. Okay, fabulous. Now for the C. Okay, so this is what we've got so far. We can fold and crease the 3 score lines that we do have. Okay, so once we've got our C piece folded, we are going to measure along the center score line 3/4 of an inch and make a little mark. Okay. So 3/4 of an inch from the bottom and make a little mark, and then we're going to measure 3/4 of an inch this way and 3/4 of an inch that way, and then we're going to connect those dots. Okay, so from the center score line, 3/4 of an inch. Okay, now I'm going to use my scoring tool and a ruler just to connect those dots. Okay, and then we're going to push that triangle backwards and then crease it really well. So we're going to put a little bit of score tape on the two little 1/2-inch sections. And then we're going to put some adhesive in this little triangular divot. Okay, and then we're going to take our D piece. We're going to take the very bottom of the folded part of the D piece, and we're going to sandwich it into that little triangle. So squish it in there. If you've got any extra adhesive, get rid of that. Okay, and set that aside for a second, and we're going to take our base page that we just finished working on, so we're going to flip this over, and we are going to adhere our A piece onto the left edge of the base. Okay, and now we're going to take our B pieces, and they're going to go centered top to bottom. One will be on the right edge of the base, and the other one is going to be on the left edge of the A. Okay, so you might want to open the A up so you don't accidentally get it adhered in the way here. Okay, I'm going to eyeball it. If you want to measure it exactly, please do so. I'm just going to eyeball it. So there's about a 1/2 inch at the top and the bottom. Okay, and then I'm going to close this and make sure that the second B piece is even with the first one. All right, we're going to open these up now, and we are going to add our pattern paper to the back side of A and to the base before we add the CD piece. So I'm going to use this patterned paper. Okay, so I'm going to stick that down. So once that is down, we can adhere this. So what we're going to do is we're going to place it so that the opening is at the bottom. So this corner is going to pretty much touch the bottom edge of the page, and this corner is going to touch the top of the page, or thereabouts, and we're going to have it just a little bit away from the center. So there's about maybe 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so I'm going to remove the tape backing from one side and add a little bit of wet adhesive. And then line it up in that way so you've got it at an angle. About like that. And then we're going to remove the other bit of score tape, put some more wet adhesive on that, and then close the A flap to adhere the second half. So I'm going to give that a second to dry, just so that it doesn't pop off when we open this up again. And then when you open it up, You have a pop-up! Yay! So now I'm going to add the rest of my patterned paper, and then I will show you I'm going to add a piece here with a magnet to close this. I will come back and show you that in just a sec. Okay, so let me show you what I have so far. Got this on the front, and then just the sand on the inside, the sandy waves. This piece here, and then I just put some of that simple kind of beige cardstock on the inside. So I haven't got any pattern paper on this part yet because my plan is to use this piece as kind of like an opener. So I'm going to adhere it to this side and then have a magnet over here. So in order to do that, I'm going to put a magnet on the edge of this. So I've got a set of magnets there, putting a little bit of score tape on the magnet sandwich. Oh, I'm off camera, I'm sorry. So there's just a set of magnets there with score tape underneath and score tape on top. Now I'm going to kind of just position it where I want it. Somewhere about, don't want it to be exactly in the center, somewhere around there. Okay, so I'm going to press that down to adhere the magnet. So now I've got a magnet on here and a magnet on here. But I don't want this magnet to show, so I'm going to back it onto this green piece here. All right, and then just gonna kind of mentally see where I need to add glue. So I only want glue on this part of it. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of flip it over. So I want it to be like a 3-finger width of glue. So I know I only want this much. So I'm gonna kind of put a little mark here just so I know. And then I'm going to add my adhesive. Okay, and because we have that magnet already there, this will know where it's supposed to go. And then we can adhere it to that side. And now we can add pattern paper here. But now we've got this space here that we want to cover. Okay, so I'm going to put this little piece right over here. And then I'm going to put this here. Now this piece here, it was just a tiny bit too small, so I've just cut a tiny strip just to kind of make it look like a continuous piece. It's a little trick if you have a piece of paper that you really want to use but it's not quite working. There's always a way. Okay, I'm just going to use a tiny bead of glue on this one because my tape runner is too wide. So I'm just going to butt that right up against it. And there'll be a little seam, but I'm okay with that. All right, and there we go. There's our page 4. Whoop whoop. Okay, moving on to page 5. Let me just show you what it will look like and then we will begin construction. So this is magnetic and pulls down, and then just a simple waterfall, and then the whole thing opens up as well. Okay, so a really simple page. I'm trying to embrace simplicity lately. I'm always kind of going over the top with my page designs, and so I'm trying to embrace simplicity a little bit. All right, so the pieces you will need for page 5 are as follows. Your A is 8 inches by 5 7/8. Can't read my own writing. Yeah, 5 7/8, yeah. Okay, so 8 inches by 5 7/8. And then you're going to need 4 pieces, your B pieces. There's 4 of them. They measure 4.5 inches by 6. Okay, 4.5 inches by 6. And then your C piece is 4 1/8 inches by 6. Okay, so grab your scoreboard. We are going to score A at half on the 5 7/8 inch side. Okay, that's it for A. All of the B's we're going to score at half on the 4.5 inch side. Okay, so those are all your B's, and then your C is going to be scored at half and 5/8 on the 4 1/8 inch side. Okay, so that's it for scoring. Now we're going to add some score tape. Okay, so we're going to add score tape to all the half-inch sections. This is probably the simplest page of the album, but I mean, things don't necessarily have to be complicated to be gorgeous. So I'm trying to embrace that. I will still do some more complex albums, but I think for some of these ones it's nice to have some simplicity and ones that are really, really easy to follow, so even someone who's just starting out can follow these simple tutorials. And it's also nice because they don't take a huge amount of time to make, at least not like the ones in my Etsy shop. Those ones are very time consuming to both create the tutorial and to create the album itself. So these ones are good for craft fairs and selling at things like that, because they're not quite as complex. Anyway, okay, so let us miter all of our corners, and then we are going to fold and crease everything. I'm just going to do these 2 at a time because they're the same. And then the C piece. Okay, get your little bitties out of the way. Fold and crease all of your score lines. All right, once that's done, we can start putting it together. So we're going to grab our last base page, and we are going to adhere our A piece to the top of the base. Okay, and now we are going to adhere our B pieces in the center of the A piece. Like center from left to right, I mean. Okay, so the first one's going to go at the top. Again, I'm going to eyeball it. So the first one at the top, that looks pretty centered to me. Lift that up. Okay, so the second one, we're going to adhere just overlapping the half-inch section of the first. And the same with the second one, just very, very slightly overlapping. Okay, and then we'll do the same with the fourth one, ever so slightly overlapping the half-inch section of the one before it. Okay, and then your C piece is going to go at the bottom, and it's going to cover over and close the whole waterfall. Okay, so it's going to go at the bottom of the base page. So I'm going to kind of hook it underneath. So I've got the 1/2 inch section here. I'm going to kind of hook it underneath the A, just so I can kind of line it up, but have it adhere to the base page, not the A. Okay, so it's adhered to the base. And then we're going to add a magnet going from the C to the top B to keep it all closed. So a little piece of score tape on the back side of the D piece. And then 2 magnets, another piece of score tape, and then close it up over your waterfall. And there we go. So that is your page 5. Should always put a little bit of score tape over top of your magnets. There's a couple that I've forgotten to do that on, but it just helps to keep them where you want them. All right, perfect. So now we can add our patterned paper. All right, so let me show you what I've done paper-wise with page 5. So got this kind of matching page 4, right? I always like them to kind of coordinate. So that pulls down. I've just got tiny strips in between, and then these kind of form the rest of the pattern. I cut it so that this was like one kind of continuous pattern. So a little strip down here and a little strip in the center, or at the covering the 1/2 inch section, just to kind of finish it off nice. And then this gorgeous image up here with that same pattern paper, just that cream kind of colored cardstock down there. And then on the inside I did a little bit of paper piecing. All right, so it looks like that on the inside. So just kind of some places for journaling and or photos, and just to add some color, some strips of that pattern piece. All right, so I mean, you do whatever it is that you want to do. I've left these empty for photos because I mean this is a photo album after all, but I mean you could also journal in them instead. All right, so that is page 5. Okay, so here is what page 6 will look like. We've got a flap that opens up. Okay, and then it's not attached yet, but it's magnetized here and will be glued to this part right here. I just haven't done it yet because I want to add the pattern paper first. Okay, so this will open and this will open, and then you've got 2 flaps that go up like that. And then they both open again, and there's 2 flaps here. But then they also open that way. So it's basically a big, what do you call it? Accordion fold. So it's an accordion fold on each side with 2 flaps. Okay? So let's get our pieces ready here. Your A piece, you're gonna need 2 of them, and they measure 5.5 inches by 12 inches. And then you will need 4, come here, 4, there we go, that was a struggle. 4 B pieces, and they measure 3 3/4 inches by 5.5. And then your C piece is 4 by just shy of 11, so about 10 7/8. Okay, so those are your pieces. Grab your scoreboard. We're gonna score your A pieces on the 12-inch side, and we're gonna score at 1/2 and 5/8 and 3/4 and then 4 3/4, and 8 3/4. Okay, I'm going to do that to both of the A's. So 1/2, 5/8, 3/4, 4 3/4, 8 3/4. Okay. Your B pieces are all going to be scored at 1/2 on the 5.5 inch side. Okay, so 1/2 on the 5.5 inch side for all 4 of them. And then your C piece, we're going to score at 5.5 on the 11 inch side. Okay, so put your scoreboard away. The C piece does not need any score tape, but we're going to add score tape to the 1/2 inch sections of all the rest, as we've been doing all along. Okay, and then same with the 2 A pieces, just on the 1/2 inch section. And then we will miter our corners and fold and crease all of our score lines. I'm just going to do these 2 at a time since they're the same. Alright, get your biddies out of the way and fold and crease everything. Make sure to fold each individual one of these little score lines that create this gusset. This will help it to kind of fold over everything without getting too bulky. It'll allow room for everything to move. Oh, sorry, we're doing this accordion style, aren't we? Normally I would flip the paper over if we're doing an accordion style, but I think we can get away with it. Okay, now we're going to grab that page that we were just working on. We just finished that page, so we're going to flip it over. Make sure we're the right way up. Yep. Okay. So your A pieces are going to adhere to the left and the right sides of your base page. Okay, so left and right, these should meet in the center. Just like that. Okay, and now your B pieces, they can really go wherever you like them to go. I have them so that when you open it up like this, they're here and here. But I mean, you can put them on any of these areas. It's completely up to you. So you decide how you would like to do it. I'm going to put mine on the inside, but feel free to put them wherever you like on those, any of those 4 panels. You do you. Okay, this last one. Excellent. And now your C-piece. So we're going to place it here. We're just going to put our magnet here first before we put our pattern paper on the front. So I'm going to get a set of magnets on the back right side. So I guess when you flip it over, it's the left. So whichever way makes sense to you. Okay, and then I'm just going to place it where I want it, which is in the center, just to adhere that magnet. Okay, and if you want to, you can also add magnets on these flaps. I'm not going to, I don't feel it's really necessary. So now we can add our patterned paper. So you'll add pattern paper to this. The two front pieces, let's just do that now. Ah, no. Wasn't ready. Wasn't ready. Okay, so that covers that magnet. And now we can put adhesive on this half. So let's just see. Let's kind of make a mark. So it's good. It's magnetized, so we kind of know where it's supposed to sit. So I'm just going to make a mark on the back just so I know where to put the adhesive. And so this flap is a little bit shorter, so we don't want it, so I'm going to make a mark about an inch away, just like that. So I know that I only want adhesive right here. Can you see that? Bring it up so you can see. So I'm making a mark about an inch away from the edge, and I'm just going to put adhesive in this area. Okay, close that up. So let the magnet find its buddy again, and then you can press down on this side. Open it up just to make sure that you're not, you don't have any adhesive showing. You don't. Perfect. And then we can add another piece over here to hide that magnet. Okay, like that. And now you can just add your pattern paper as you normally would. I'm going to put this on the front. I'm going to leave the inside of this blank for photos, and then I will add the rest of my papers, and you can do the same, and then I will come back and show you what I have done. I wonder if I want, I might want, yeah, I want a magnet on here as well actually before I put this on. So I'm going to put one magnet on the front here, just a single magnet. And then because I don't want pattern paper on both of these, I'm just going to put one magnet. I'm going to let it find its buddy. So I've got one adhered here. I'm going to find its buddy. It's going to find its buddy through the paper. I'll put another piece of score tape on it. and then close it down. So now I can keep this blank if I want to. Okay, so I'm going to add the rest of my pattern paper and then I'll be right back. Okay, get Zuri's tail out of the way and I'll show you what I've done with page 6. Okay, so, oh, I just realized I forgot one